Here's how you can save money by getting double or triple the plants from what you get at the garden center. I'm going to show you how you can get multiple plants from just one plant like this pot of snapdragons, all for the price of one. But before I do, make sure to hit that thumbs up button and subscribe to my channel for more health and homesteading content. Let's dig in. So here's a little hidden secret about plants you might get at the garden center, is they pack them full with like 3 or 4 plants sometimes and mark up the price. But you could save all of that money and get multiple plants from one large pot. This is a 1-gallon pot of snapdragons, and I'm really excited to plant these along my trail here, my path right in the middle of my garden. I planted some tulips for some pop of color, and I'm going to plant these snapdragons in between each of them, and then I'm going to cut back all of my tulips so that way it looks like I've got year-round color going through this pathway. And so the very first thing I have to do is assess the root system. And just a little side note, I actually grew these myself, so I know that they're probably not going to fill up this entire pot full of roots. I'm going to kind of take it out on the soil so it doesn't get my path dirty. If it was a smaller pot, I could take my hands and flip it upside down, but I have to be really careful with snapdragons because snapdragons will literally snap. And so you can break them in this process, and you have to be a little bit more sensitive with them. I'm gonna go ahead and kind of get a space here for where I'm gonna plant these. And that way, when I dump them over, I'm not making a huge mess. So I'm just mulch to the side, so I've got some space. Almost broke them. I'm not gonna flip them upside down in my hands because, like I said, I don't want to snap them up over. So what I'm gonna do instead is I am gonna try to find like a base where I can put some of my fingers, and I'm gonna try to do it on its side, just like that. Now, at this point is when I can gently open them up. They'll kind of like naturally fall apart. And now I've got 4 snapdragon babies from this one pot. I'm super gentle, and obviously soil's going everywhere, so I'm being kind of like super sensitive about where all this is going. But now what I'm gonna do is it's gonna create more impact if I space these out in this one spot. So like I could take this one snapdragon and plant it here, but if I take all 4 and I sort of space it out, it's gonna feel like so much more snapdragon space, more blooms. It's gonna be, so I'm gonna first position them how I think it would be nice. And I'm thinking I might do like a diamond shape with the biggest ones kind of right in front of one another, and then the other 2 inside. So I'm basically just kind of like spreading them out. This is exactly how I want them to be planted. If there's 3, then I might do a triangle shape, so that way the biggest one is closest to the edge of the bed. That way the edge feels really thick and full. And then I'm gonna put the other 2 in a diagonal triangle shape. Always plant in diagonals because you're going to maximize the space. Every plant has its spacing requirements. Say it's 3 inches, 4 inches. So if you have one plant in the middle, you move 3 to 4 inches on either side. That's one way of spacing your plants, but you can maximize it by going in diagonals. So now I'm going to just place these right into the soil, pop them on in the soil from the pot. I'm gonna pat it down, not compact it, but just pat it down just enough so that way the soil's not gonna move within the very last one. And I'm even checking myself, even though I already positioned this, I'm checking it to make sure that it's all pretty straight and everything is aligned. I know, but when you look at like a DIY garden versus a professionally done garden where someone knows, these little details that you put into things like placement really make a difference. Now that this is done, I'm gonna take my mulch that I scooted to the side, and I'm gonna put it right back in there, standing kind of upright and straight by pressing down along the sides, making sure that I'm covering up my mess, and voila, I've got extra soil in here. I'll just save that and use that for something else. I want to show you an update at how great these snapdragons are growing a week later. They are getting so much bigger. You can tell that they're really happy having more space. And I had just topped off these beds with compost, and so they're getting the nutrition they need, but everything survived the transplant. I hope you enjoyed this video on how to save money getting multiple plants from one pot. And if you did, make sure to hit that thumbs up button and subscribe to my channel for more health and homesteading content.